This video is proudly sponsored by GamersGate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit GamersGate.com.
Welcome to Elder Geek's Elder Speak. Today is Tuesday, April 3rd, 2012. I'm Randy Yasenchak, editor of ElderGeek.com. I have to apologize at the beginning of the show. Did not throw up an Elder Speak yesterday. Had a little bit of a family thing come up, and so I apologize. Those will happen from time to time. Fear not. No one has fallen off the planet. Today, in the background, you're going to be seeing some more gameplay from either Journey, or you might actually be seeing some more footage from Shogun 2 Follow the Samurai. I haven't quite decided yet at the time of this recording. I know everybody's kind of a little bit tired of the Shogun 2 footage, but last night I was playing around with Patrick Feng, and he defended about 25 units or something like that against a force with his only 5 units, and it was one of the most ridiculous defenses of all time, and so I kind of wanted to possibly do that as an homage to him, but if not, maybe I'll just throw up the download file for that replay footage so you guys can watch it on your own if you own Shogun 2. But anyway, on the show with me today is Gavin Green, who you might recognize his voice from the HUD series that we used to have here on our YouTube channel, and he's also our news editor on ElderGeek.com. Gavin, hello, sir.
Hello to you, sir, as well. I'm glad to finally be on the show.
Yeah, we've having some personal schedule sync issues, but just finally managed to square that away.
Yep, and if I may be so bold as to recommend, I would say more Journey footage is always a good idea. I am in love with the game.
The thing is with Journey, I like Journey a lot. I absolutely think it's a beautiful game, but I almost wonder if playing too much of it would just ruin it for some people. Like, if they saw it, the whole thing, would they still want to go out and buy it and play it for themselves?
I don't really think it's an experience you could spoil visually. I mean, there's so much of it is tied into the gameplay and your own personal experience with the controls. I mean, I'm glad I'm not reviewing it for this site. I'm not tasked with that because I am the most nitpicky person on the planet, and I can find nothing wrong with that game. So I think there's something wrong with me, but yeah, I don't think it's possible to spoil it. I think I'm prepping a written feature in terms of how my personal experience with Journey and how I think it could relate to non-communicative co-op in general. But yeah, it's a game that everyone can enjoy, even if they see the whole thing, which really there's not much of. It's just how you operate within it.
Right.
So yeah, I say go for it. Roundabout way of saying it, but yeah.
All right. Moving on, we got some news to cover today because we didn't actually cover any of the news yesterday. Sorry about that, everyone. But first thing on the chopping block is the team CD Projekt Red actually whipped out a video today, which is a recap video for The Witcher 1, in case you were interested in picking up The Witcher 2 for the Xbox 360, or if on the off chance you still haven't picked it up for your PC, they've sent out this Witcher 1 recap video, which is really nice of them because Witcher 1 was originally scheduled to be ported over to the Xbox 360, but then there was that big fiasco of funding and et cetera, et cetera. Do you remember that incident, Gavin?
Absolutely, I do. I think it was Rise of the White Wolf, and they did pretty much the same thing they're doing with The Witcher 2 now. They had special new cinematic department brought in. They had a lot of new content that would eventually just go into The Witcher 2.0. That was the huge update that they had. And I'm pretty sure if you just do a little bit of digging, you can find the trailers for the original, and it looked pretty fantastic. I was disappointed when it didn't go through.
Yeah, me too, because Witcher 1 is actually a really fantastic game. I'm not going to say it's better than Witcher 2, and I'm not going to say that Witcher 2 is better than Witcher 1. I think they're both fantastic, amazing games in their own right, and they're two very different games, to be honest with you. But both of them, I can't help but love the fact that they are a maturely seeded game, and they're handled very well. So
absolutely, you'll recall that I gave The Witcher 2 my golden eggie of the year for the year we just did, and
that's right.
I'm a huge fan of this series. I'm absolutely in love with it, and especially if you're coming into this series new now, the version of The Witcher you're going to be getting, the enhanced director's cut, that's the fully patched one, is the perfect experience. It is what they had with The Witcher.
It was the patched version, but then they also like put back in all the stuff that was in the European version, but they censored out of the American version. And it was like, well, why did you do that? Come on, there's been plenty of games that have shown way worse than this.
I can't speak to their censoring practices, but it's definitely them listening to the fans. So you're going to be getting the best version of both games going in now, and of course, watching the Witcher 2 recap, they do recap the entire first game. So if you do not want ending spoilers, just avoid it for now. But
yeah,
they don't hesitate to tell you the entire story and make sure you're right up to the opening cinematic for Witcher 2.
Yeah. So check that out if you pre-ordered Witcher 2 for Xbox 360, or like I said, if you've missed it out on the PC up until now. Which, by the way, there's no excuse to have missed it unless, of course, your machine can't run it. It's a wonderful game. And we actually had a question. I'm sorry if this is getting us slightly off track, but I actually had a question from somebody asking if we were going to be reviewing it for the 360, and the answer is probably not, because we've already reviewed it once for the PC. Unless they've really, really, really changed absolutely everything about the game, and it looks like they've done some significant changes, but it's still going to be the same core game. There's not a real reason for us to revisit it.
From what I've seen, I mean, the main difference you're going to see is they brought in the new cinematics department. You have a lot of new CG movie scenes that they've added in, and I'm going to be picking it up regardless. So should I come across any definite changes, or should the control scheme feel so different on a gamepad as opposed to a mouse and keyboard, I may throw up something about it, but... Even
on the PC, you can still play it on with a gamepad, you know?
That is true, definitely, but this is the team designing it from the ground up for the 360 and bringing it into the 360 hardware, so that could be reflected in terms of how you work with the gamepad as opposed to on the PC, optimized for a PC specs. But again, this is going to be something I would pick up on release day and then just throw up if there's any significant differences. But like Randy said, we're not expecting anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get a worth buying unless the 360 version comes out just riddled with bugs. Yeah. I mean, that is the only thing that's going to hold it back from getting a worth buying rating. Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving on. Sorry if we hovered there a little bit too long, but Robot Entertainment has unveiled Orcs Must Die 2. Orcs Must Die was a tower defense / action game, though leaning a little bit heavier on the tower defense part, that hit the PCs, and I can't quite remember if it was on 360s or not, or if it was on Xbox Live Arcade, but it was an outstanding game that was just swimming in Bruce Campbell-esque personality, and I'm very excited about it. They're touting a new campaign, a bunch of new enemies, some new defenses, and a whole new upgrade system for the whole thing. We will throw up a link for you all, and please be sure to check out the original version of Orcs Must Die, because that is definitely a must-play game as well. Have you ever touched Orcs Must Die?
Demoed it, yes, but nothing beyond that. I'm not the biggest tower defense fan in the world, but from what I played of it, it definitely got me more intrigued within the genre than most attempts at it, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the sequel.
I generally suck at tower defense games, and that's why I don't want to say that I don't like them, but I won't gravitate towards them because I'm bad at them. But because you can actually get into the action, in third-person point of view and actually tip the scales in your favor, I think that is also what makes me like the Orcs Must Die series a little bit more.
And it was released for Xbox Live Arcade, so you can go pick it up there as well.
I thought so. Yeah, it's just a fantastic game, totally worth whatever you find it for. So go pick up Orcs Must Die 1 in preparation for Orcs Must Die 2. In other news, GamersGate is going to be releasing IndieFort, so it is their version of a I don't want to call it, I guess, just a humble bundle, but GamersGate version. And what they're actually doing is, beyond the 6 games, which are going to be Cardinal Quest, Kenshi, Black Market, Devil Whiskey, Steel Storm, Wanderlust, Rebirth, and you can get those all for a minimum of $6. From this point on, GamersGate is also going to be trying to develop tools, basically, for indie developers. So that will help them with funding and development. If it'll actually be a platform for them to actually release it as well. So this is GamersGate's. I don't know how to put it. I don't want to call it an Xbox Live Arcade because it's not going to be quite that. And it's not quite... I mean, GamersGate is just another retailer, but they're trying to be a little bit more hands-on with the developers than, say, Steam is or Good Old Games. You follow me?
Indeed,
Gavin?
I am. Indeed, I am, and I'm looking forward to see how they work it. It's a delicate balance to traverse.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But it's going to be IndieFort.gamersgate.com when it actually launches, and everybody kind of look forward to that, because I had to stop myself from picking up a couple of these games to review them for the site. The big one that I'm really kind of interested in out of this bunch is Kenshi. Have you looked at any of these games by any chance?
I've only seen the list of them. I have not looked at the preview pages for them yet. Kenshi's
kind of this. It totally has me intrigued. I really want to pick it up. I should when they finally launch this IndieFort. But it's kind of this open world, and everybody has like a samurai sword, so it's all about open world and exploration, and then of course you can pretty much battle whoever you want when you want to, and the combat is supposed to be more in depth than, say, just a standard MMO. So it's interesting. It has me intrigued. That's all I want to say. There we go. Done with that one.
I am intrigued. I am intrigued with the game that has whiskey in the title, specifically because it has whiskey in the title.
Kinect Star Wars was made by 10 different development teams.
And
according to according to Eurogamer, who did some digging on their LinkedIn profile, 10 different teams. None of them were actually Harmonix, who made that horrible Han Solo dancing game abomination. I'm sorry, but that was not only a Star Wars low, but that was a low in video games as well when I saw the video for that.
Really? That low, huh?
Did you see this
I have
yet?
seen it, and the news makes sense. I mean, it does feel like a game, even looking at the trailers, that was designed by multiple teams. I mean, it's just so fragmented of a design, and there are so many different things going on, and you can just see the different design approaches coming here. There's no way you could look at any promotional assets for the game and say, yep, this is a singular team moving forward with a singular design decision. But I thought the auto-tuned Han Solo dance sequence was hilarious.
Oh,
because again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, and it's just fun to watch people squirm on it.
I honestly think that Star Wars Kinect is the physical embodiment of disappointment. Ever since we have been kids, most geeks have been wanting to experience a Star Wars game where you play with a lightsaber and your hand is the lightsaber, or you hold something in your hand like the lightsaber, which is why the Wii versions of the Star Wars Force Unleashed games were always such a disappointment, because that one-to-one reaction wasn't there. And then Kinect Star Wars, I don't think they ever could have pleased anybody based on their initial presentation of this thing at E3. When people were picking it apart, remember when the guy had his lightsaber light up and it wasn't even one-to-one with the guy on the floor?
Oh yeah. I was actually on the floor for that. I was actually there at the Cirque du Soleil event, and yeah, I mean, they were obviously playing with canned video footage, so that wasn't too surprising. But then it turns out they may have not been. You expect that, but the one-to-one, the ratio between movement and gameplay does appear to be that delayed, as it was made fun of back in, that would be E3 2010, I think.
2 years ago?
About then, yeah, almost 2 years. But let's see, who is actually involved? This is coming from Superannuation, who is the Twitter account to end all Twitter accounts. I don't know if it's a singular person, but they release just some of the biggest dev secrets, and they're always finding all of the game reveals that people put on their LinkedIn profiles without realizing it. So from these guys, they're saying Terminal Reality, the guys that worked on Ghostbusters, the video game, were on it. Frontier Developments, they worked on Connectables. Suddenly it makes sense. LucasArts, of course, and Visual Effects Studio Rhythm and Hues and Skywalker Sound. So approximately 3 out of 5 of those probably weren't actually designing a single line of code. So I don't. But yeah, I can see how just 10 studios just lumped on to this thing.
Yeah, and according to the article, it also says that Harmonix actually tweeted saying, hey, here's a preemptive tweet. It says, we're seeing a lot of questions again. Harmonix and Dance Central have nothing to do with the dancing minigame scene in Kinect Star.
Yeah, they want to distance themselves as far away from that as possible.
As they should. I'm sorry.
They are the only. Yeah,
that was as embarrassing to watch as it was to watch George Lucas swap out the Darth Vaders at the end of Return of the Jedi. Come on.
Okay, even coming from a non-fan perspective, that was a bit of a little bit of a thorn in the side. But yeah, I can see the makers of the good Kinect-based dance game do not want to be associated with the Han Solo-based Kinect dance game. I mean, that's very smart of them. Whoever I forget who's doing community management for them, but give them the gold star, give them the bonus. That's some initiative right there.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't want to think about it any longer. Else I'm just gonna nerd rage here. But next topic. According to Games Industry International, they have had an anonymous group of developers actually who have come forward and said that the Wii U is less powerful than the PS3, the Xbox 360. They're just coming out and saying that it's boiling it down, that the biggest gimmick, and I'm not using that in the negative connotation, but the biggest thing with this is that the screen is really where Nintendo is putting all of their money, and that they're basically coming forward and saying that the screen really isn't that hot, that it's just a new form factor for the Wii Motion Plus controller. It just happens to have a touch screen in the middle of it. And there were a few people actually even came forward and said that the Wii U plus Wii Motion, or the Wii U plus its controller combination, is actually less potent, so to speak, than the PS3 and Vita combination. So they're not only saying that the Wii U itself is not that powerful, that it's not as strong as, say, the current PS3 and 360, but they're also saying that what the Vita can do is actually better than what their handheld can do. But I don't know. I still foresee the Wii U being somewhat of a success.
Absolutely.
And it has nothing to do with their hardware. It has everything to do with the way that Nintendo markets their material.
It's all about branding. But let me ask you this at the start here. Are you surprised by the news?
Not at all.
That's what I thought.
Not at all. Mm-mm.
I mean, you can tell from the very first time they showed it, the entire thing behind the Wii U is the tablet controller. I mean, that's what they showed at E3. People didn't even know that there was a box attached to it. The Wii, this tablet controller is the main focus here, and despite it not being spec'd out to the max, I mean, they're trying to reduce costs here. A tablet and a new box together is going to be an immense cost, and they're going to sacrifice RAM, and they're going to sacrifice internal hardware to bring down that cost. There's no way Nintendo could go up with a $600 machine hardware bundle at this day and age. So I mean, that sacrifice is is why you're not going to have comparative hardware.
Yeah, some of the other pretty notable complaints were saying that the range was questionable, with the controller and the console itself. Some of the other complaints about it were that the system only comes with one of these things. So in order for you to have player 2 kind of interact with it, you need to get another one for some games, and I think those things actually might hinder Nintendo's sales. But like I said before, Nintendo, ever since the GameCube, Nintendo really has not been that big of a push for the hardware side of things. They've been really all about the marketing side of things. Despite the fact that this report says that the PS3 and the Vita combination is a more potent one than the Wii U and its controller combination, Sony isn't marketing themselves like that.
Yeah, and they're not going to, because I don't know what's wrong with Sony's marketing department, but they have never seemed to hit that level of consumer satisfaction or get that advertising campaign that's translated to sales the way Nintendo seems to do, just naturally.
Yeah. Unless the only way that they would be able to directly compete with that, even if they took the Vita right now and started boxing it with the PS3 and they were calling it the PS3 Vita box or whatever, the only way that Sony would be able to compete with that type of branding would be as if they said that the PS4 was coming with the Vita, and the Vita acted as
and
the
Move, but then really, the Move never. But here's the reason why the Wii U is going to be a success. It's because Nintendo is when they focus on their hardware, it may not be towards the highest rated guts or anything like that. It's how to utilize it with their brands. Nintendo is nothing but marketing brands. So when you get the tablet controller, I mean, they already screwed it up with the 3DS. They're already really focused on trying to get it right out of the gate here. They already have the new Super Mario Bros. Me set up. You're going to be able to do that. You're going to have the promise of of all the basic franchises that utilize the tablet controller, something with Zelda, something with maybe something with Metroid, I don't know these days, but something with Kirby down the line. I mean, you have all these practically guarantees that come with it, and Sony has not really backed up the talk with software connectivity. I mean, how many games can you mention here outside of Konami's transferring tech that actually utilize the Vita and the PS3 games at all? I mean, you have MLB The Show that you can take and just play the game outside of your house or something like that, but you don't really have a lot of direct Vita to PS3 immediate connectivity. Right. I don't think you're going to. I think Nintendo's going to come right out of the gate with that and say, hey, look, here's something you can do with Mario. Or they're going to have, that thing where you can fling shurikens at trees or something, ninja training or something like that, and that's going to be what sells it.
Yeah. And it will. It will be a success. It might not be a success out of the gate as much as the Wii U one, Wii 1 was.
It's getting confusing with the
names. Yeah, basically next generation's console war is going to be a reiteration of this generation's console war. We're going to see people siding with Sony and Xbox 360, and they're going to be bitching and complaining, saying that, the Nintendo console isn't hardcore enough for them. And then the Nintendo fans are going to say, well, at least we get quality games over here, and it's an innovative product, etc., when your machine just does nothing but push more.
So you don't think that there's going to be a Dreamcast situation with the Wii U's release coming out so far ahead of the next generation, as it were? You don't think it's going to see that kind of downfall?
No. I think Nintendo's right in releasing their console when they are. I think that personally, Sony and 360 or Sony and Microsoft are behind. I think that what the PlayStation and Microsoft brands both need to do, they need to be doing it a lot faster than what they're doing right now.
And definitely, if you're going to come out with this kind of box with this low of specs, this is the last time you're probably going to be able to launch without, just getting the entire tech head population just completely against you.
Right. And honestly, we're actually reaching a point in game development and what type of games people are actually wanting and playing. We're reaching a point where people aren't caring as much about graphics as we once were. I mean, 2011, I think, was one of the most successful years industry-wide for indie gamers, or for indie developers and indie publishers. So the indie-verse, I guess as it were, is growing, and people's needs for more AAA games are decreasing.
Absolutely. I think what's going to define the Wii U's success, not necessarily in its launch year, considering its lack of competition, I think Nintendo's going to learn from its 3DS mistakes, is going to try to back up the hardware with the software at launch as much as possible. I think the main measuring stick for the Wii U's success within the 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years after the launch is its connectivity. Because while graphics may not be a concern here, if they come out with something as pitifully connected or as non-connected as the Wii now, that's going to be unforgivable, and that's going to be the exact opposite of future-proof. It's going to drag the system down. And have you heard anything about the Wii U's connectivity? I mean, the 3DS has been rebuilt to support it, but I haven't really heard much from the Wii U side.
I have not been mega abreast on the subject. No,
I don't think Nintendo's really released a lot in that specific. So we're going to hear a lot. Most likely, we're going to hear everything but a launch date at E3 this year, and maybe even a launch date.
Yeah, this is going to be a big year for
Nintendo
at E3, because they whet everybody's appetite with this. Last year they're going to have a lot of answers to. They're going to have a lot of questions to answer this year. And also, at the same time, people are going to be looking at Nintendo and Microsoft saying, okay, look, Nintendo did this. What are you guys going to do? And there have been a lot of rumors about what the PS4 is going to do and what Microsoft's next machine is going to do. But there haven't been any confirmed, solid evidence straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And that's what that's what everybody kind of needs.
Yep, it's definitely going to be Nintendo's position to throw the ball into Sony and Microsoft's court. Even if they don't necessarily come forth with the E3 press conference everyone hopes they have, they'll definitely be able to to put the pressure off of them, which is what they've been successful in a couple of years past as well. Not necessarily 2008, but they've definitely been able to lead the press after E3, so it's all going to be about Sony and Microsoft's response. I agree with that.
I'll tell you what Nintendo will really need to do, and this will be my final say on the subject because we're running a little bit long here, but Nintendo needs this year to not only say, like, more detailed specs about the whole thing. They need to give price, they need to give official launch date and everything like that, but they need to also give a more solid list of release date titles, and they will need a Zelda, and they will need a hardcore game. And I don't mean hardcore Zelda/Mario game, I mean a hardcore game like I guess one of the Assassin's Creeds or something along those veins. I know Assassin's Creed 3 is scheduled for Wii U, but they're going to need something hard.
And I just want to tack on an asterisk to that. They want a third-party exclusive, or something as close to that as they can get. Something that's going to come out day and date,
not just a port,
with the Wii U, because all we're seeing right now are tablet-resed, retweaked versions of existing third-party games that are going to be coming out 2, 3, 6, 8 months after the original launch. Batman Arkham City is going to be on this thing. So
yeah, people aren't going to... I mean, as many cool new features as they'll put on it, people probably won't double dip. People probably won't buy another copy of Arkham City. So they're going to need something fresh and new. And to be honest with you, I really think that they need a good, solid JRPG.
And I don't think that's going to be a problem for them if they put their effort behind it.
Yeah, I think Wii U would be an awesome system for a JRPG.
Absolutely. You have just a platform for all of your menus, and then you could have just a completely clean HUD in an RPG, which is something you rarely see, if ever.
That about wraps it up for today. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. As always, be sure, if you have any questions, to send me any questions or emails to info@elder-geek.com. Probably coming this Friday, I'll do a viewer mail day because I actually got quite a few. So keep them coming, and I'll sift through them and pick out some of the best ones, and we'll go through them on a show. If you haven't yet, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/eldergeek.com, spelled out just like our YouTube name, or you can always check out our homepage at elder-geek.com. Gavin, thanks for joining me on the show today.
Thanks for finally having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody else, I'll talk to you tomorrow.